Today, welcome to Mama's Kitchen. Today, I'm going to get you through to Ghana. So I'm going to do groundnut soup, which you have in Ghana with plantain fufu. And I'm going to just demonstrate how you can use the Thermomix to the advantage of cooking a very lovely groundnut soup. So first of all, I got my Thermomix. One of the things I love about Thermomix is that at least you can always use it to prep your steak, which is good. You can use it to prep your stuff. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got my pot there to put everything because I'm cooking a large amount, but I'm going to use my Thermomix to actually prep it. So I've got here about 500 grams of just roasted nuts, like you can see. So I'm just going to use the scale for scale purposes for you to know that the Thermomix has the scale function, and you can use that. So as usual, you tear it. So like I said, about 500. So that I've got 500 in there, and I'm just going to blend this as a paste before starting to put other stuffs in. I just want mine like that. Yeah. So I'm just going to give it just about 200 ml of water. Yeah. So just about 200 ml of water, and we're going to put this back to the home button. I'm going to put this to 10, and I'm just going to blend that for 30 seconds. Did I say 10? 30 seconds. I'm going to do that for there. Okay, and that's going to go on speed 10. 30 seconds. There you go. So there, as you can see, it's a little bit pasty. Yep. So now I'm going to just put in some onion. So just about 2 onion there. I'll put in some ginger. I usually like my ginger not peeled, so it's always very nicely freshly washed. Yeah. And I'm going to put in about 4 garlic. Yeah. And I usually like to put some tomato puree into my groundnut soup. So I've got 1 there, 1 spoon of red. Add 1 more spoon. And I'm going to put in some pepper. Put in some pepper there. So that's fine. So with this, I'm going to now add some 100 ml of water. Yeah. So go about 400 ml of water there. Yeah. So there. And we're going to now put it to cook at Veroma. So as we're going to cook this and blending it at the same time, in the meantime, because I want to prep this, like I said, so I've got my meat readily washed here, and I'm going to put some season. This is actually blended pepper, blended garlic and ginger with some herbs. Yeah, so that's what so that's a seasoning I've got in, and I'm going to put a little bit of oregano. I love oregano. Season with that. Got a little bit of mixed herbs. Mixed herbs in there, and just a little bit of red powdered pepper. So this, I'm going to season this meat, right? So all these ingredients go into it because I just want to steam this before cooking it in the soup. So what the Thermomix is doing for me is, while I'm doing other stuff, I'm just going to put this on with the water in, which is why I've put a bit more water in that. I think I'm just good there. And here, on top of the meat, we have some smoked turkey, which is actually all rinsed nicely. And I'm going to cover this, and I'm going to put this on here so that we're going to have what we call the 3-tier cooking. So there, I'm going to now cook this on Veroma, and I'm going to leave this for half an hour. So we're going to leave it for half an hour, 130 minutes on this, yeah? On Veroma, 30 minutes, and I'm just going to put this to split 2. So here we go now. We're just going to see after 30 minutes what we've got here. So that's a little bit steamed, and you can see our meat really nicely steamed. Can you see that? Let's stir this a bit. So some of them that has not really done will be done. Okay.
Yes, actually steamed. You can see steamed a bit nicely with all the seasoning gone right inside. Oh, I can smell the flavor.
This is lovely. Okay. So you see, while I was doing this, I was able to do other things, and this is what you get with the Thermomix. This is what you can do with the Thermomix. Okay, let's take this off. There. So that's all the groundnuts. There. And let's see. Oh dear. Wow, this is lovely. Okay, so now, while all this meat waits, we're going to put some cut nicely fresh tomatoes. So we'll cut that into
it. While I put it to cook and blend it more before I pour everything in the pot. I could have just done this in the pot straight away, but because I could have cooked this in the Thermomix straight away, but because I've got a large quantity, that's why I'm going to do this, and then I'll transfer it. So put a little Maggi in it, a Maggi cube, and I want it to be much more pepper in it, so I'm just going to put a little powder pepper in it, 2 scoops of that, because I love lots of them. When you cook, one thing with it.
Since our meat is ready to cook, I'm not going to, because we don't want to overcook the meat. So I'm just going to put the lid, and let's wipe this off a bit. There you go. So there, and then we're going to leave this to cook, and then we'll now pour it on. So I'm just going to put this back onto 20 minutes. Because it's peanut, you want it to cook very well. So this is 20 minutes there. Yeah, that's it, because you don't want to run. And we're going to leave this on 120, and I'm going to put that on 2. So now I'm just going to reduce this, because as you can see, it's coming up so much with 2. So we're reducing it to 0.5. So you can always, this is one thing I like about the Thermomix, you can also always readjust your the heat you give it, or your timing, or where you want it to be. I can just smell the flavor. It's just really nice. So since I've started smelling the flavor and I can see it coming on, it means that it's really cooking well. So we leave it, and then we'll actually pour it on the meat in the pot, and then get our Thermomix ready to put in our next thing, which is going to be the plantain fufu, which you can see me here. I've got the green plantain, and these are about 3 of them, and I'm going to make plantain fufu out of it. So all we're waiting for now is this to do. We put our meat and our turkey into the pot on the cooker while we do the plantain. So we come now, as you can see, this is what I was just telling you. That's why I reduced it. Normally, if you're doing this on the fire, you'll be going everywhere. For my Ghanaian friends and family, they would understand what I mean. But now with this one, see, and I could have actually protected it with the cover to prevent this, but it's okay. It's all looking nice and fine. So as you can see, everything is done in here. So this is what I was talking about, preparing it. So now I'm going to pour it into my pot. So readily there, as you can see, it's nice and smooth. Everything is being done there. This is really good. It's really good. Nice and smooth. Done nicely and smoothly. So now we're going to put some water in here. And this is just a sorry.
It's just a bit of water that came from the tomatoes I poured earlier. So I'm going to use that. Come this way. I'm going to use that
in the pot and in the jar. I'm going to need it.
We have to put in some more water. So we need some more water. So you can fill the jar with water. So we need about a liter of water.
And we put this on. So now we put about a whole liter of water. You can use this to rinse that as well inside. Sorry, just getting a little bit messy here now. There. And that's it. So you now get your meat ready, which we've already done. So the smoked turkey there and all the meat with all the goodness in it. So we pour it in nicely and gentle. There we go. With all the seasoning going in. Oh, this is gonna be lovely. There you go. So you can see with all that prep time we used, you didn't waste it. You were able to do other stuffs while all this was going on. That's it. And now all we need to do now is to leave this to cook. We bring it to cook. So we give this another 10 minutes on to cook nicely. So 10 to 15 minutes roughly. And that will cook nicely. And after which we will just add. So now I can add my okra because I want it to also cook nicely. So 10 to 15 minutes we'll put the okras in now. Yeah, so that would cook, and one whole pepper. And we've got here, I've got here some nice smoked fish Titus, which I'm going to add on once this soup does. So we're just going to leave this for another 10-15 minutes and then we come in. Right, so there we go. We got the Thermomix ready for the plantain. So what I'm going to do now is just give you a rough estimate of the amount of plantain you need, and this is just about 3 plantains I've put here. So this is about 640, let's say 600, roughly estimate about 640 grams, which is about 3, and we're just going to put in about 200 mils to 300 mils of water depending on how this is going to look. Oh, so yeah, that's fine. 250 ml is fine because we don't want it to be too soft. And we're going to leave this on 20. So we're going to leave this on for 20 minutes. 20 minutes on speed 3. And so the heat is 120 and the speed we can do with 3. If 3 is too much, as you can see, you can always lower it to either 2 or 2.5. Yeah, so this is what I'm saying about controlling the Thermomix. You can always control it to put it at the required speed that you think will be good for the amount of thing you've put in, or if you are not following the recipe. This is our own recipe, so this is much more of the Ghanaian recipe that I'm doing, and as you can see, it's working well with the Thermomix. And I'll come back to show you how our plantain fufu from scratch. Yeah, so we are back to this now. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh, that's with groundnut soup, just for you not to be shocked. It's sort of, it does mess a bit because when it's boiling, comes to boil and all that, but that's looking really well. So remember I told you we're gonna put the fish in last. So we got the fish going in last, and we just leave it for 5 more minutes, and that's ready to eat with the plantain fufu. So
I'm getting this for 5 minutes.
tidy it a bit as we're going to leave it for just 5 minutes to simmer, and it's all done. So there you go, and we just put that on to just simmer for 5 minutes. Just put the heat on a low heat. Simmer. In the meantime, I'm going to check our fufu done in the Thermomix. So you see, again, here again, we're saving time. I wasn't standing there trying to stare at the fufu. I done the preparation for the groundnut soup. The groundnut soup has been on the fire now, just cooking for about 15 minutes. I would have been there hours doing this. This is done, and the fufu is also ready. So when you see this, you think it's a bit soft, but when you put it down just for 5 minutes, it's going to all come nicely. So I'm just going to dish this here directly to my plate. So that's the plantain fufu done. Really nice. You saw me put the plantain in, and this is what you get as the result. And I'll show you after 5 minutes how this all comes together. There, the plantain fufu ready, and I'm just showing you how this is all coming together. And you can see it's already starting to get hard, because that's how fresh plantain is. When you do it, it gets hard so quickly, so quickly. So you shouldn't do it too soft. If you do it too soft, you won't get the right consistency. It's good to do it like this for you to be able to get the right consistency. So, having finished with the Thermomix now, we'll go straight to actually self-clean the Thermomix, because that's one thing I like about it. It's self-clean. So, and as you can see, this is not bent much at all, so you don't have like a whole pot to be scraping. Yeah, so there we go. Put this in water so you can nicely put that together, and we're going to put our Thermomix back on, and we're going to put some water. You can see we fill it in with water and just a pinch of salt, and we're going to put it back on here, and this is going to self-clean. So we're going to press self-clean here, and as you can see, we just turn this knob and it's going to self-clean. So yeah, you've seen it that. So if it's not properly done, you can always cover it and just put it to pre-clean again. And most of the time it does that itself, but if you feel you are not satisfied with it, you can always put it back. This is all done now, so I'm just going to dish. This is ready to eat. As you can see, it's really ready to eat. I'm going to dish that, and going to enjoy this. And that's the fish. On top of that, and you have your okra on top of it, and this is really delicious. It's really going to be delicious. This will really go with the plantain. Okay, so while I've got that ready, let's see to the Thermomix is ready as well. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's better. So as you can see, it pre-cleans itself. And this is served ready. Spoons and drink, and dinner is ready. Join me to have this lovely. I think fufu is ready. There. Oh, really nice. Really, really nice. I love this. Thank you. Thanks for watching. See you soon.